as much to be learned from the gathering as from the news itself. Please join us.
Saturday mornings at 7 on KSJE Farmington.
Thane Maynard here. The 90-Second Naturalist is a compact little radio show with expansive goals to raise awareness and improve understanding of the natural world. To do this, we take just 90 seconds and present stories about the plants and animals around us. The facts are fun, the sound effects are neat, and the host ain't so bad either. Please join me for the 90-Second Naturalist.
Listen every weekday afternoon during the KSJE Evening News at 5:30. 8:53. It's Thursday morning here on KSJE, and that means it's time for our weekly Prep Sports Update with the one and only Wally D from Wally D Sports. Good morning.
Good morning, Scott. How are you doing?
I am good. Welcome back. Good to have you here.
As always.
So things are getting a little bit more exciting, aren't they, in the world of prep basketball?
Yeah, it's getting a little bit more intense. This is the last week of regular district season, and you get to the district tournament next week. But teams that are in the top 16 are fighting for those last few spots to try to get in there.
Right, and now we have a top 16, right? We've been showing the polls of the top 10, but those have been kind of expanded, I guess, to kind of see who is kind of lurking just outside of that top 10, which is good for some of our teams.
Right. And, someone asked the people that put the coaches polls together to expand it to the top 16, and so that's what they did this week.
And we can see.
Yeah, that way you can kind of see how the coaches are voting and who's right there on that bubble of getting in. And, as you look at the 4A, you can see Kirtland's,
they're at number 12.
Probably a lock. I mean, definitely a lock to get there. And I believe, isn't Gallup up above them too?
They're at 3.
Yeah, so, they're in the same district with Kirtland Central, and then you have,
But that's about it.
Well,
4A, right?
I believe Bloomfield's, they're trying to get into the state tournament. They're right there on that outside edge, 17, 18.
Gotcha.
Trying to get in. So it's going to be,
right, we'll
they
see.
can do it, but we'll have to wait and see.
Okay, and then in 3A, we have Navajo Prep at number 7, and Theroux at 14. Those are kind of the local schools that I noticed there on that list.
Yeah, definitely. So Navajo Prep, a sure lock, and Navajo Prep with a big win last night. They scored over 100 points in their game.
Wow.
101, actually.
Good for them.
And in a district game. So, yeah, big points for them. But
definitely. Okay. Very good. And then smaller schools in the boys' side anyway. Again, not too many in 2A and in 1A. I don't know why I put that up there, but I did. So just so everyone can see it. But there's really not any local schools to talk about. Girls' side, different story.
A different story.
As we've been saying, you've been telling us all year, right?
Right.
Since January even.
Right.
So we've got Kirtland Central in Class 4A at number 2 this week, and Gallup at 4, and Bloomfield's at 9 for our radio audience that can't see what we're showing them, and Shiprock is at number 16.
They are, and Shiprock hanging on to that 16 spot. Bloomfield actually falls a couple of spots because they lost last Saturday night to Gallup.
Oh.
And so they split basically in the season. They played 2 games. Bloomfield won the first one. Gallup won the second one. And so basically what it boils down to this Saturday night is going to be for the district title. Granted, Kirtland Central's playing Aztec tonight. They have to win that game.
Okay.
They've got 1 loss as in district. Bloomfield with 1 loss. They go to Gallup to take on Miamira tonight, and they have to win that game. So what happens? They both will have 1 loss, so the district title will be on the line on Saturday.
Interesting. And Miamira is at 15 on this week's poll.
Right.
And then Gallup is at 4. So that's where they stand.
Yeah, and Gallup, they were in the 3 spot. They fell down to 5. Then after beating Bloomfield, they actually moved up a spot. So, So anyways, and then what's going to be amazing is if for some reason Bloomfield wins out and wins the district, then when and I think I mentioned this before, when the state seating committee gets together,
right,
Bloomfield will be seated ahead of both Kirtland and Gallup.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Just the way they do that.
That it has to be that way. The district champ gets the higher seed.
Right.
So I'm sure Kirtland wants to be sure they lock up that district district championship. So
Well, they're
yeah,
looking
it's
pretty
really
good.
really winding down.
They're looking good this week. Now at 3A, let's take a look at that. The Navajo Prep Lady Eagles, right, sitting on top of that poll at number 1.
Yeah, and they have one game left, which is tonight, and it's against the number 2 team in their district, which I think they're on the poll. Where they at? I was looking. Tohatchee, number 2.
Their numbers right there, right?
Yeah, so they're the 1 and 2 teams in the state. They play tonight, probably for the district title. I would imagine Navajo Prep, of course, has the edge, and I believe if Tohatchee were to win, then on Monday they would have a playoff game at a neutral site.
Oh, interesting.
And
Okay.
and so yeah, so that's what's happening in 4A.
Okay.
And let me also go back.
That's 3A.
I mean 3A. I'm
That's
sorry.
okay.
And also back to 4A. Don't forget tonight we'll be broadcasting both the Kirtland Aztec game and the. I'll go to Gallup tonight for the Bloomfield Mia Mirror game, and you can check out agmsportsradio.net.
Okay.
And that's where all the live game broadcasts are.
If you want to listen in, everybody, there you go. So perfect. That sounds good. And then again, the other local schools of note on 3A on the girls' side, right through at number 12, Crown Point 15, and St. Michael's 14.
They're actually a team out of Santa Fe.
Oh, then never mind.
But yeah, definitely. I mean
Go St. Michael's.
those other 2 schools are in the same district as Navajo Prep, so good showing for that district.
Right. Very true. So, but these are really important games. All of these, aren't they?
They definitely
there really
are.
isn't anything you can really take for granted, I would say, at this point in the season.
Right. And then of course we got 5A.
We do? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if I showed it, but we don't. Sorry.
Oh, maybe you did. And let me mention, so Piedra Vista's at number 2.
Right.
They
Well,
lost.
I'm so sorry. Well, I didn't show 5A, everybody, but I didn't. So, okay.
They lost the other night to La Cueva.
Right.
So they both have to win out their next 2 games, or
Okay.
next 1 game, I think. Yeah, one more game.
Okay.
Farmington Piedra Vista play on Saturday night, and of course you can hear that game also on the AGM Sports Radio Network.
Right.
And if they and La Cueva same way, I don't know, they play another district foe, but they both have to win, and they'll split the district. So that means Monday there will be a district playoff
I see.
to see who's going to be the district champion.
So they can then determine the rest of it, right?
Yeah, so they can determine. Yeah, so they know how to seed them for the district tournament.
Gotcha.
But it's crucial to win your district more than the district tournament. It's almost like the district tournament doesn't even have a factor, other than if it's a lower seed team that comes up and like the last place team, they're not going to make the state tournament, but for some reason they get on a roll and beat everybody, then they'll make it into the state tournament.
Interesting. Right. Okay. And there's all these rules somewhere, right, that people are following just to keep it set.
There
right?
definitely is.
And so that's important. And so, on average, a week, how many games do you do? Or,
Well, last week I believe I did. Me personally, I
Yeah.
did 4. We probably on the AGM Sports Radio Network did 6 or 7.
okay, that's a lot.
Yeah, it is.
That's a lot.
It is.
But for fans of these schools, right? I mean, it's great that they can go to the website and see and hear these games, see where these games are, and hear and listen to them.
Right. We have a live game click, takes you to the page, shows all the games that we're broadcasting, and
Right.
then I know we talked about this last week, but we had our second student athlete of the week.
Right.
And that went to Lene Billy with Piedra Vista. She scored her thousandth point,
Say
1,000
that
points.
3 times fast, everyone.
Yeah.
Wow, good for her, right?
As a sophomore.
Holy smokes!
Yeah, I mean, she started also as a freshman and then as a sophomore, and
Okay.
got 1,000 points last Saturday night. So she's going to have a great career at Piedra Vista.
That's exciting. Well, and again, this is something new you're doing every week, is honoring a student athlete,
Right, and you can go and see the video. We interview them, ask them questions, and just a lot of fun. And of course, you can go to agmsportsradio.net and check that out, or Wally D Sports Facebook.
There you go.
Either way.
You got them all over there. So perfect. Wally, thanks so much.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. That's Wally D from Wally D Sports, my guest right here on KSJE Farmington.